Okay, good morning. It's been a few days now, but it's the 23rd of May. So, what I tried to do was I quickly Googled ways of redrafting poems after I did a sort of memory activity last time. So, the next one was one I picked randomly was getting some critique from other people. It did not go well. So I posted it on an online forum. What I've done is copy and pasted the comments. I got 5 in total at the moment, maybe more later. I've made it anonymous. I've just numbered them 1 to 5. So I'm going to read them through. But I think the general gist was that it was far too abstract. There was nothing cementing it in the real world, which I can understand. That's fine. Some grammatical stuff. So what I'm going to do is read through. So I've numbered them here, 1 to 5. So what I'm going to do is read them through. I brushed through them while I was crying, but I'll read them through and then I'll just underline anything I think is actually something that I can use specifically for redrafting. After that feedback, I did come up with an idea. I was on the bus actually, mulling over the crits, and I thought a way to ground it would be to make it first person human as opposed to abyss, and to also be more specific with the relationship. So the title I came up with was "My Father Took Me to the Edge and It Burned," which I quite like how that sets the tone straight away. It's also very specific as well. It deals with the relationship. There's an element of hopefully metaphor in terms of the outcome of that, but it's also quite mysterious as well. It plays with that phrase "going to the edge," implying danger already, whereas you should have more security with a father figure. But anyway, that's the idea behind it. So it's a start. So I think today I'm going to go through the crits, underline, if I've got time, because I need to get the work in half an hour. And I'll start a redraft process, maybe copy and pasting it before. Okay, so number 1. It's hard to walk the line between being too obvious and too vague, so I think I'm starting to address that. So I think you can't argue with that, I suppose. I think you've gone too far the vague, very few details to clarify that would be this poem less mystifying. On the first read, I can't tell what was going on. Second read, it sounded to me as though you were describing distant fire that mimics a sunset on the horizon. I mean, I love that image, like the parallel of man and nature and personal and environmental. But what is standing around and holding hands? Trees. 2 technical notes grammatically. Line 4, lay should be lies. I'll have a look at that. And in closing up, you use a passive voice and slant rhyme, both of which makes your lines feel weaker. Okay, passive voice, slant rhyme. That's something I can definitely be aware of. Number 2, there are some interesting images here. I like the vividness of a sharp and bleeding horizon. For example, I like that as well, so I'm definitely going to keep that. For example, overall, I'm having trouble following this poem. You use they 7 times and never define. See, that's the problem, isn't it? Line 9 and 10 imply, grammatically speaking, that a future is the end's opposite, which I do not understand. Lines 9 and 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 9 and 10. So what's that about? From above, beyond my opposite, a future hangs that cannot be. End's opposite. Yeah, I see what you mean. Again, more definition, defining that would be useful. It's just tell ourselves that. I don't know what they are waiting for either, nor what their questions are. Okay, so questions. What are their questions? What do they actually want or know or want to know? It'd be sense to say that the answers that they cannot understand. Susan's supposition. I should take the name out. Apologies. Number 1's supposition that this is about a distant fantasy is possible. You're not in Alberta. But even though reading it through the lens, I'm mystified. I would consider references clearer. Wish there'd be more benefit from length and space. Okay, I think that's the next step for redrafting. Just get rid of the form. I think I mentioned this at the beginning. It's just getting clay together at the moment. Welcome back, and then the knives. For God's sake, I agree with 1 and 2, and will add that the first time reminded me of the term tondoism, which I didn't know before, but I get it now. Haiku describe the unnatural feeling, avoidance of articles like that. So right on the fresh of the poem feels interesting. Okay, I'm going to try to not. That's all about grammar, then, isn't it? I like certain confusion. The poem's very abstract and as such hard to relate to. I mean, you want people to be able to relate, unless you're specifically looking for alienation. Aside from that, I found them rather plodding. Okay, I'm trying to analyse why I came up with the following reasons. There's little enjambment. Okay, I like enjambment. Little enjambment. I'm sure there's enjambment. It's all right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, that's fair enough, I suppose. Sing-song predictability. I mean, obviously, I want to avoid that unless I'm playing with that. The rhymes for pat, only 2 exceptions. Opposite and radiate is not pat, but there's a slight rhyme feels out of place. Okay. Hands and understand is not a perfect rhyme either, but this doesn't distract as much, and at least you have different syllables. I think the abstract leanings of the vowels come to this. It's easy to come up with them when one is speaking in intangible generalities. Lovely. Predominantly monosyllabic. Each of those lines containing one non-monosyllabic word. Thanks for letting me know what that is. It's quite a long stretch of predominance. As of note, I'm not sure what this sentence means. It was powerful. Yeah, I like that one as well. Okay, fix the rubbish stuff. I don't really see why this odd tense is used. Scorch the sky or scorching sky would flow better. Yeah, I'll have a think about how that fits. They stand on my edge, they hold their hands. Again, I can't see. This can't be one sentence. To a halt. I was trying to say zero, but okay. So pause too jerky. I'm not sure if I agree that's a bad thing, but it's something to think about. Well, my other person simply have no idea what moral I'm supposed to be. I'm honestly baffled. Okay, so I want to avoid baffled. There's surely a fine line between intriguing someone and then baffling. Okay, so let's have a look at the poem and redrafting it with that brand new title with those crits in mind. So I can get rid of that version there. Okay, so I've changed the title. I've still got that link. And now let's destroy the poem. Okay. I did actually change it to Horizon as I posted it, which is such a thing to do, really. But I just didn't want to post it with the word rainbow in the first line, I suppose. As I read it, I thought it was too cliche. The horizon, sharp and bleeding, scorches sky. Just gonna me to the edge of something empty. The sunset staggers back and forth and back again. So what I want to do, he holds my hand. The horizon sharp and bleeding scorches the sky. He leads the way. He leads me to the edge. Me to the edge. I think that's what I meant. I didn't mean the end, did I? Uh, Something empty is rubbish. Sunset's over. The air is damp. The earth is dry. He asks me to dig. I don't know why. I don't know why. I like that. That might be something, maybe an end. Um, Earth is burnt by. Put that back in. Lies. Lies across the shadow. Lies. Shades. And shades of red. Across the ground. We stand at the edge. Edge. Behold. Again. We hold arms tighter. He whispers questions. His throat constricts. Throat constricts. Questions. And I do not understand. Nothing can be predicted. Will he be happy, sad, angry, silent? His opposite. To be enough. Appears. That doesn't work either. I think I'm just going to cut that. Now that I don't need the title anymore for it. I don't want that at all, do I? Okay, apparently this is the draft. This is the brand new draft. Okay, he holds my Jesus Christ, holds my hand, the horizon sharp and bleak in the scorched sky. He leads the way, he leads to the edge. He takes me to the edge. And bleeding scorched sky, he leads the way. He takes me to the edge. There's a haiku quality to that now, ironically. Edge of something empty. Sunset staggers back and forth and again. The air is damp, the earth is burnt dry. He asks me to dig, and I don't know why. His shadow lies in shades of grey across the ground. We stand at the edge, we hold hands tighter. He whispers questions, his throat constricts questions that I do not understand. Nothing can be predicted. Will he be happy, angry, sad, silent? From above, beyond, his opposite, the future hangs. Cannot be enough. As clouds radiate, another to be appears. Where was the bit I liked? I liked that as the end instead. So if I'm going to keep the haiku-ishness of it, okay, read it through and then leave it. My father took me to the edge, and it burned. He holds my hand. The horizon sharp and bleeding scorches sky. He leads the way. He takes me to the edge of something empty. The sunset staggers back and forth and back again. The air is damp. The earth is burnt dry. Colon. Semicolon. His shadow lies in shades of grey across the ground. We stand at the edge. We hold hands tighter. He whispers questions as his throat constricts, questions that I do not understand. Nothing can be predicted. Will he be happy, angry, sad, silent? From above, beyond, his opposite, a future that hangs but could be enough. And at this clash, the colours radiate and all that might have been appears. He asks me to dig, and I don't know why. I like that end. The dig makes me think of Heaney's digging poem. Okay, I mean, it's very different to that, suddenly. I mean, it's been a while, I've been thinking about it a lot. But I think I prefer it, and it addresses some of the questions that are in there. There's obviously a danger in listening to every element of feedback that you're ever given for a poem, because a poem's not a committee. But I think it's, a bit of hard truths or objective, constructive criticism. I mean, I don't think is a bad thing, so that's a step forward, I think. So I think I'll leave that and have a look at it again next time and see how I feel about it. Okay, folks, see you next time.